look at this weather map, you can see, oh, that's a little too big. Short periods of rain that happen in some places, but not everywhere. So if you know how to read weather radar, when you see the red and the purple, that's very heavy rain. And the green is light rain. And the gray is probably it's probably just overcast and not raining, or it's maybe just spitting a little bit, or it's a little bit of a sprinkle. So scattered showers would be a day like this, where it might rain for a bit and then stop. There might be a downpour and then the sun comes out and then it rains again. So scattered showers, short periods of rain that happen in some places, but not everywhere. These are this must be American. Because look at those temperatures. This is definitely an American map. Oh, and you can see in the forecast, scattered showers, storms possible in the evenings. And it looks like I cut off the next word there. So, scattered showers, short periods of rain that happen in some places, but not everywhere. Severe thunderstorm. So a severe thunderstorm is a dangerous storm with strong winds, large hail, heavy rain, or even tornadoes. So it doesn't have all of those things. And this is another thing that has started to happen here in Ontario, Canada, and around the world more often, I think. Quite often they'll say severe thunderstorms this evening. They're forecasting severe thunderstorms, winds up to 100 kilometers an hour, or possibly, or hail possible. So hail is when the raindrops freeze on the way down, and they turn into little balls of frozen water. Hopefully they're not that big, by the way. Hopefully they're just little tiny ones. But anyways, a severe thunderstorm is not nice. There's usually a lot of thunder and a lot of lightning. There could be hail. There's usually high winds and then lots and lots of rain. And then sometimes a tornado, which is, we sometimes call it a twister. We don't experience those in my part of Ontario, Canada, but if you go west, they do happen from time to time. So severe thunderstorm, a dangerous storm with strong winds, large hail, heavy rain, or even tornadoes. Blustery, windy with strong changing gusts of wind. So a couple words here. Blustery means it's windy. So when you walk outside, you probably have to lean into the wind. But blustery also means the wind, in my opinion, changes direction and speed quite rapidly. So as you're walking, the wind is blowing here, and then it's blowing here, and then here. And it's like when you walk between a building, the wind hits you from a different direction. And then you might be walking in the wind, and then it stops for a little bit, and you walk some more, and it stops. So blustery, windy with strong changing gusts of wind. Gale force winds. Here we go. Very strong winds that can damage trees, buildings, and power lines. So if you hear on the news that there's a storm coming and there are going to be gale force winds, you need to prepare. Here's what I do if they say gale force winds, which are probably winds above 100 kilometers an hour. I'm not a weather. Sorry, what is it? I'm not a meteorologist. So don't quote me on it. Here's what Jen and I would do. We would make sure we have gas for the generator in case the power goes out. Now I would charge my solar battery pack so that we have power. So if my solar system batteries are at 50%, I would start bringing them up to 100% in case the power went out. We would make sure, did I say this? That we had gas for the generator. We would make sure we knew where our extension cords were. And we would make sure on the farm that there was nothing outside that could blow away. Okay? And then we would just wait for the storm to come. And it would not be super enjoyable. I do like a good storm. I don't like a storm with gale force winds. Muggy, warm and very humid, making the air feel sticky and uncomfortable. So I think I've taught this word before, and when I teach this word, I always say, years ago, I went on a trip to South Africa. And the weather, the temperature was in the high 30s every day, but it wasn't muggy. And it was actually not that bad. When the air is muggy and it's 36 degrees, it feels much warmer. And here's why. When there's a lot of moisture in the air, when the air is warm and very humid, it makes the air feel sticky and uncomfortable. Because when you sweat, your sweat doesn't evaporate as quickly. At least I think that's why it feels that way. And it just feels like you have a blanket on. If you've ever experienced humid, muggy weather, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's like going outside and it's 35 degrees, and then it feels like you have a blanket of air on you, making you even warmer. So muggy, warm, and very humid, making the air feel sticky and uncomfortable. Not nice. Here in Ontario, it's always humid and always muggy in the summer. That's just part of the weather. In South Africa, it was great. I really, really liked it.
I really liked it.
UV index. Let me get this as big as possible. How strong the sun's ultraviolet rays are and how quickly they can damage your skin. So you can see here, this is the weather forecast for today. 28 degrees, not too bad. Chance of showers, sunny becoming a mix of sun and clouds in the afternoon, high 28, humidex 31. So there you see humidex. So it will feel like 31. UV index 9 or very high. So today would not be a good day for me with my fair skin to go outside without suntan lotion on. If I went outside today for a long period of time, it would be important for me to wear a hat. I would probably wear a long sleeve, thin fabric shirt to protect myself from the UV rays. But UV index, how strong the sun's ultraviolet rays are and how quickly they can damage your skin. Sub-zero. So we're moving into more winter type terms now. So sub-zero, below 0 degrees Celsius. Sub-Zero, also a character, I believe, from Mortal Kombat, whose move is to freeze people. This is my Mortal Kombat move. We also sometimes just say below zero. So you might hear something like this on the weather. Next week, we will experience sub-zero temperatures. Now, this is in Celsius. So I don't know what they say in the US. They probably say freezing temperatures in the US. But sometimes in Canada, you'll hear sub-zero, or you'll hear freezing temperatures or below freezing. So it's cold. The thermometer is going down. Let's say it's 1 degree. And you're watching the weather. And they might say, next week, we are going to experience sub-zero temperatures. It's going to be very, very cold. Whiteout. A weather condition where blowing snow makes it almost impossible to see. We almost always use this word when we're talking about driving conditions in the winter. It can be used to just describe winter weather in general, but usually you'll hear things like this. Be cautious on your drive to work. There are whiteouts, or there are whiteout conditions, meaning that it's snowing, but there's also snow getting picked up by the wind and blowing. And it just makes it very, very difficult to see. This picture, in my opinion, doesn't accurately describe it. If these were whiteout conditions, you would only see one yellow pole. You probably wouldn't see the other ones. It is not very enjoyable to drive when there is, like when you're driving in a whiteout, it's very, very scary because if you keep going, you might not be able to see the road. You might hit somebody. You can't stop because someone behind you might hit you. So it's very, very dangerous in that situation. Squall, a sudden brief period of strong winds that is often accompanied by snow. So when I was researching this word, it said that squall can be used for any type of weather where there's strong winds and snow or rain. But in my area, we don't really use the word squall to talk about rain. It's almost always used to talk about snow. And I'm assuming it can be, and maybe in some areas they do. But if you said to me there's going to be squalls this afternoon, I would assume snow. So again, sudden brief period of strong winds that is often accompanied by snow. We often use this in conjunction with the word whiteout. There's going to be snow squalls and whiteouts this afternoon, so be careful if you are driving in that weather. Visibility, the distance you can clearly see through the air. Let's make this as big as possible. So this is a picture, that's a little too big. From Toronto 2026, and then from New York City 2023. So I guess it was 2023 when we last had the really, really bad I think Casey Neistat, the
Casey
YouTuber, made a
Neistat, the
video about
YouTuber, made a
it
video
way back
about it
then. You
way
can go
back
look
then.
that
You
up.
can go
But
look
yes,
it up.
Toronto was very
Toronto was
orange
very
a couple days
orange a
ago,
couple of
and
days
New York
ago,
City
and New York City
a few years
a few
ago
years
was
ago
also
was
orange.
also
So
orange.
visibility,
So visibility,
as I
as I
mentioned,
mentioned,
when you
when
look
you look
in the
in the
distance above my
distance
head,
above my
visibility
head,
is pretty
visibility is
low.
pretty low.
It's also something on the
also
window there, I
something
think. Visibility
window, I
is
think.
pretty low. Actually, it's not too bad. I would
not
say
that
it's
too bad. I
medium.
would say it's medium.
But it's the
But it's
distance
the
you can
distance
clearly
you can
see
clearly
through
see
the
through
air.
the air.
Conditions. So this is a general
This is a general
term
term
to talk about the weather.
about the weather.
So the current
So
state of the
current
weather,
state of the
including
weather,
things like the
including things
temperature,
like the
wind,
temperature,
rain,
wind, rain,
snow, and
snow,
clouds.
and
So you
clouds.
could say to
So you can
someone,
say to someone,
what's the weather
what's
like
the
where
weather
you
like
are?
where you are?
And they could say,
they
oh,
would
it's
say,
sunny
oh, it's
today,
sunny
it's going to be
today,
25 degrees.
It's gonna be 25
If you were
degree.
speaking a little
If you
more
were speaking a
formally,
little
you could say,
formally,
what
you
are
could
the
say,
weather
what
conditions
are the
like
weather conditions
there
like
today? And they could
there
say, oh, the
today?
conditions are
Conditions
bad.
are bad.
I think this
I
is
think
more
this is more
used
used
when you're
when
talking
you're
about
talking
like,
about
is it a good day to
is
go
it a good day to go
skiing? Is it a
skiing?
good
Is
day
it a
to
good
go
day
to
to
the
go
beach?
to the beach?
So you'll
So
probably
you
hear
probably
someone say,
"I
we're going to go to the
will
beach
go
today
to the
because
beach today because
conditions look
conditions
great.
looks
Or we're going to
great.
go skiing
We're gonna
today
go
because
skiing today
conditions
because
look
conditions
awesome
are awesome
for skiing.
for
So
skiing."
conditions,
So conditions,
when talking about
when
the weather,
talking
the
about
current state of the weather,
current
including
state
things
of the
like the
weather,
temperature,
including things
wind,
like the
rain, snow,
temperature,
and
wind,
clouds.
rain, snow, and clouds.
Now, this will be
Now, this
different
will be different
depending on where
depending
you
on
live.
where you live.
But I'm going to
I'm
go
going
through
to go
alert,
through
advisory,
alert,
watch, warning.
advisory,
So
watch, warning.
in my part of the
In my
world,
part of the world,
an alert
an alert
is a message that lets people know that dangerous weather is possible or already happening. So my phone is actually set up. If there's really dangerous weather, my phone will go off and there will be an alert. And it will tell me what the alert is for. In Canada, we have yellow, orange, and red. Those are the levels. And I think you even saw that on the air quality slide. You have to go way back to show you that. You want to go way back? Let's go way back. Here we go. We're almost there. So you can see here orange warning air quality. So that's kind of the middle level of air quality. That's the alert level, that orange bar there. Now I got to find alert back. Here we go. So it's a message that lets people know that dangerous weather is possible or already happening. And then you can see the three levels there. An advisory, a warning about weather that could cause inconvenience or minor hazards. So you can see here there is a heat advisory, heat and air quality advisory. This is actually from yesterday. This is real. A heat warning has been issued by Environment Canada for our region due to dangerously high temperatures and humidity levels. Air quality is also expected to be poor with reduced visibility due to wildfire smoke. So you can see a lot of the words I've been teaching you, they do show up again as we look at actual material. So that actually came on my, I think it was on, no, I think it was just on the weather page yesterday. An advisory. So they're just kind of letting you know. Then we move into watch and warning. So watch is conditions are right for dangerous weather to develop. And I have the same slide for both watch and warning. Okay. So if we read here, under the word under watch, it says, be prepared, have a plan. There is potential for severe weather. Let me make this a bit bigger. And then I'm going to switch this. Warning, dangerous weather is happening or is about to happen, so you should take action immediately. And then it says here, take action under warning. Severe weather is occurring or is imminent in the area. So again, when they say there's a watch, they might say there's a storm watch. Basically, it means conditions are right. There might be a storm. Okay, there's a very good chance there will be a storm. When they say there's a storm warning, it means a storm is already happening somewhere, and it's probably going to come to your area as well. So watch, warning is basic. Watch is basically get ready, and warning is it's happening. You better be ready. Front. So a front is the boundary where two different air masses meet. Usually when I see a storm front coming in my part of the world, it looks a little bit like this, like a cloud in the distance that's coming my way. And you can even sometimes see rain coming down from the cloud as it approaches. And then system,
system.
a large area of weather
area
such as
of
a
weather
storm
such
or
as a
high pressure
storm or
area
high
that
pressure
moves
area that
across
moves
a
across
region.
a region.
This is very
This is
similar
very
to what we
similar to
talked
what
about
we talk
when we talked about
when we talk
hurricanes.
hurricane.
You can see it
You can
moving
see
up
it's moving
the
up
eastern
the
seaboard
eastern
of the
seaboard
United
of the United
States. So
States. So
system then is a
system then
general
is a general
term
term
for the weather
the
that is
weather that is
moving
moving
across your
across
area
your
or
area
into
or
your area.
into your area.
Right now, we
Right
are
now, we are
experiencing a very pleasant
very
weather
pleasant
system.
weather system.
I know it's
I know
warm,
it's
but it's
warm,
not windy, it's not raining, it's not snowing. But they could say a storm system is moving in later today, and you will experience really, really bad weather.
really, really bad